I'm freezing up already. Fuck. Hello, Sharon. I'm freezing up on my screen. Is that true? Okay. Seems to be okay. I froze up for a minute. Hello, Carla. How are you, my friend? You know what? Is what it is. I'll tell you how it's going in just a minute. Whew. Sound seems to be okay. Ooh. Wonderful. All is good. Ish. I'm a little fuzzy, but I'm just gonna have to stay fuzzy because I'm a minute 35, and the way today's gone, I'm not touching everything because at the moment it's all working, and you know, we know how often that works. Oh, I see one of Ziggy's friends has showed up. I wonder how Facebook's indecency standards fit on something like that. I just kind of don't really understand. I think we saw that girl last week, but I think she had a different name. Hello, Dave Sperry and Ziggy. How are you? I'll get to the weather. I always start with the weather, Zig. That's exactly right. Well, hello, Facebook and all the world. David Arte here. And tonight, we're going to find out if a total lack of preparation is enough. We're also going to find out whether or not I fell at Myrtle Falls. And are you too cheap? Am I too cheap to delegate? And I'm going to wonder whether or not you are. And lots of photographs. All right, my friends. The weather, well, as we have heard, it snowed all day. We got a lot of snow. I've been dodging in and out of the snow now for 5 days, and I've been pretty lucky. I've managed to get the right photographs at the right time over the last little bit. So, so this is a rough map of what I did. As some of you know, I'm working on a book called Idaho Waterways. I do not have a lot of photographs of northern Idaho. I have a few, but I need roughly another, I don't know, 30 or so. Might get away with 20, but I need a significant amount of photographs into northern Idaho. So I went, I wandered up. I went all the way, this map doesn't show it, but I went all the way to the boundary with it. I was within about 5 miles of the boundary. Of course, I don't have a passport. Oh, I guess the Canadians aren't letting us in even if we do have a passport. Didn't bring my passport with me. Didn't really have a lot of reason to go into Canada. I was shooting the Kootenai River. Dave Sperry is with us, and he says that he spent his summer on the Kootenai River in Montana. It's a fascinating river. It starts way, way, way up in Canada, and then it moves and it swoops down. It goes through a significant amount of Montana, and then swings into Idaho. It's only in Idaho for 65 miles, but I shot quite a bit of it. It was fantastic. So tonight we're going to talk about some of that. I'm going to show you some pictures. I headed up 95 because I've spent a lot of time on 55, and I was hoping I would be able to catch something of the I have no idea what the river is that runs through there towards New Meadows. In fact, I'm not even sure whether it runs into the Weezer or back into the Payette River system, but I didn't really get anything. I shot a couple from a bridge, didn't turn out particularly well. So enough of me talking. Let's show you some pretty pictures. I made it to Lewiston pretty late. I had a long day. I got a late start. I was supposed to go on Tuesday because I was supposed to have a photo shoot, and as it turned out, the photo shoot canceled. I turned around and I headed up mid-afternoon, left about 1:30 on Monday, so I had to hustle. I had to get up to Lewiston. Especially in this weather, I'm not all that fond of driving after dark, so off we went. It was cool. Some of you have mentioned that you can almost smell Lewiston. There was no smell. Maybe the plant was working. Maybe the wind was blowing in the right direction. I really like Lewiston. A lot of people diss on it. It is, yeah, it does have a scent to it occasionally. But as some of my friends in the Lewiston area says, it smells like money. So Sharon, no, that is not the salmon. That is the Clearwater. The Clearwater is just about to reach the Snake right here. In fact, I think it's only a couple of miles to the west, and it's really a pretty river. I showed some photographs this morning of a stylized image on the Clearwater. I'm really enjoying putting this book together. It's been fantastic. I've gotten to go all over. I plan to go quite a bit more as the weather gets better. Obviously, we'll have a little more runoff. Some of these rivers will be higher and more wild, but I wanted some snow shots. So after Lewiston, got up first thing in the morning. I got up before sunrise because I needed to head up to the top of the hill, top of the world. But before I left the Lewiston area, oh, it didn't show up. Interesting. Okay, hang on a second. Let's see if I can find that photograph. Well, there's one of them. That'll work. Ah, there we go. So before I headed up all the way to Bonners Ferry, I decided that I would go see if I could find Myrtle Falls. This is Myrtle Creek, and I walked up to the top. Let's see here. I'm searching. I don't see. Unfortunately, for some reason, the photograph that I put on here earlier got lost. As I said, a total lack of preparation. About 10 minutes to put the show together because I got home late from my photo shoot. Supposed to be at noon. Didn't get there quite that early, but so especially since I missed Tuesday, I decided I would throw this one together. I don't know. So far, so good. Seems to be working out. What do you think of that picture of Myrtle Falls? If you look in there, you can see some ice and some, as it danced down from below the falls. Myrtle Creek was just beautiful. And this is the sort of photograph you can expect throughout Idaho waterways. I'm really digging it. All right, so, wow. Hang on a second, folks. Let's see if I can get some of the stuff I need to get up here. Well, never mind. All right, so after I took the photo shoot at Myrtle Falls, and yes, I fell. It was icy beyond belief. Fortunately, I was low level, so I didn't fall off a cliff like some people have often worried about. I headed up the way, and it was really, really good. I just really enjoyed. I went basically right on the very western edge of Idaho. It's a straight line. After the Clearwater goes up, it goes straight from the confluence straight up. I'm scrambling here, folks, because I'm trying to find some images that for some reason did not load. We may just have to live without them. So as I left Myrtle Creek, as I said, I went up, I believe, it might even be called West Side Road. Beautiful road. My friends who know, oh my goodness, boy, this show's falling apart in a hurry, my friends. Okay, I'm going to dig up some photographs here. Take me just a minute. Those of you who saw my earlier shows are very used to me scrambling around, and that seems to be what's going on here. All right, it's not going to let me find what I need to find. Well, maybe down here. I really want to show you the picture of the boat. Hey, I found it. Okay. There we go. Hang on just a second, my friends. See if I can make this work. There we go. All right. So as I said, I headed up from Bonners Ferry up to the top of the state. Made it all the way to the top. It was fantastic. And the boat picture, there it is. Boom. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I can get rid of this. No, I can't. So this is one of the reasons why I love going on the road. Sorry for the delay of getting this photograph in. This boat was literally just sitting in the middle of nowhere, next to a bridge, just there. Don't have any idea why it was dry docked. It has an Idaho 76 tag, if you'll notice up on the bow. So I guess 76 was 40 some odd years ago, so it may have been there. It's funny, 1976 does not seem like it could be over 40 years ago, but those of us who graduated in 1975 know it's been a while. So since high school, maybe, this boat has been sitting up on there. It's in remarkably good shape. There's chrome, still chromed. It's got a front winch on it. The anchor is still available. I don't know. Maybe it just missed the turn. I said in my post that it missed a turn headed to Canada. This is way at the very top of the Kootenai River. Well, not the top of the Kootenai River. Kootenai River goes on for miles and miles, probably roughly 1,000 miles after it leaves Idaho. And then interestingly enough, it goes up, turns around, comes back and enters the Columbia. Not all that far from here. So off we went. So I'm in Bonners Ferry, but I got to get back home. So this is Wednesday afternoon, wandered up, but I'm not going to go straight home because I need to find oh man, nothing is going to work here. I need to find some hope. So the town of Hope in Idaho, it is on the Ponderay Lake, and I wandered there. Not only did I get to Hope, I got clear beyond Hope. But as you can tell in this photograph, the skies are getting a bit ugly and a bit gray. Partly cloudy skies are wonderful for photographs. Completely cloudy skies, you know, not so much. And it was getting much uglier. But I still got a whole nother day. So what did I do? I headed back to Lewiston. I wandered all over, went all the way around Lake Coeur d'Alene. Lake Coeur d'Alene and I, we have issues. I just cannot seem to find a decent photograph of Lake Coeur d'Alene. I have no idea what I'm going to do because obviously it's an extremely important lake. Very, very much a part of the Idaho waterways, and I just can't get a decent photograph of it. I've never been there when it was flat. I guess it doesn't get flat very often, so I don't get reflections. I've never really been there when I've even had interesting clouds. I have one photograph that I took from a little bluff. Part of the problem with Coeur d'Alene is there's not a lot of private land around Coeur d'Alene Lake. It is mostly developed, so it's kind of like Bear Lake down in South Idaho. It's really hard to find a decent place to get a photograph. There's a public park, but it's flat, it's kind of ugly, there's nothing behind it. The mountains around Coeur d'Alene are not particularly robust, so it's just difficult to get a decent picture. I will get one, I promise. I'm making that promise for you tonight. I will find it. So after I left the casino in Bonners Ferry, headed down. I absolutely had a great time driving. I was a little worried because, as some of you know, I've had some complications from the nasty COVID, and I wasn't sure I would be able to drive. My plan was that I figured I could make it to Lewiston the first day, and if I was too bad, I'd sleep and come home. But I put, probably 1,500 miles on my little buggy, on my little blue truck, and I was fine. I'm a little fatigued today because I also, in addition to getting home fairly late yesterday, I had to get up and do my photo shoot, and what was supposed to be an hour ended up being the whole day long. So have I lost you folks, or am I just boring you? Because I'm getting no questions over here. Or are you just enjoying having me discuss my wonderful tour? So I made it to Hope. I got back in. I went down to the bottom, and I was going to try to go from Clark Fork down the bottom of Lake Pend Oreille and over, but it started to snow, and the road got a little sketchy, and I decided that maybe it would be better if I swung back, or thank you, Carla. If it might be better if I just swung back up, and I went to Sandpoint, and then I made it again back to Lewiston. What do you do in Lewiston? Well, I ordered a pizza from a place called Maud. Apparently there is one here. It was supposed to be 6 inches, so roughly this way around. It was not 6 inches. It was $10, and it was not very good. So I walked to the Arby's and got 2 Arby, what do they call, roast beefs. It was much better. So that was it. So I got up the next morning, went up to Clearwater, shot some stuff, and one of the things that I really enjoy about the state of Idaho is if you wander on the roads, they often have these wonderful historical signs. So I stopped at Slaterville. I believe that there will be a photograph in the book that will be called Sunrise at Slaterville. Did you know that steamboats went all the way basically from Columbia, clear fairly well up to the I think maybe as far as Orofino. I would love to know that if anybody knows how far the steamboats went up. So there was a port called Slaterville. It's right off the freeway. I wandered in. Boy, I must be popular, or I've been gone, because in the last couple of minutes, both the dog and the cat have wandered in to say hello. You want to come up here and say hello, Zipper? Yeah. It's always better with a cat, right? I can't lift a dog up. This is Zip. Yeah, Zip. Zippity doo-dah. Zippity doo-dah day. Oh, there she's going to come back. So I went to Slaterville. I went into Camus and I had a fantastic breakfast at the Hearthstone Bakery. Okay, I got to admit, by now I'm getting a little ragged. By the time I finished with breakfast, it wasn't very early, maybe 11, but I'd now been driving for basically 3 days straight. So I headed my butt back home, back towards home. And the weather was coming in, but this is my favorite photograph of the entire trip. I don't really have a good nick, but man, I just love the way the shadows were rolling along. And if you notice, if you look at the Palouse in the bottom, where the shadows are, looks like sand dunes, doesn't it? But it's actually a plowed field. The Palouse, most of you know, is this beautiful rolling. Well, I'd like to get rid of that, folks. Ah, look at that. Okay. Yep, never mind. You're just going to have to put up with 2 of me. Oh, you know what? I bet that'd work. Hey, look at that. So, this beautiful rolling prairie, the camus prairie. But what's really fascinating, of course I didn't know it when I was taking it, if you look at the clouds that are roughly halfway up, the shape of the clouds mimic the shadows, which makes this a lucky but wonderful photograph. So Sunny's over here making noise. Sunny is another kitty. You want to come up, Sunny? Can you come up? Sunny does not like to be picked up, so I'm not going to pick her up, but we're getting all the animals involved. Yeah, you know, it's weird. They kind of miss me. So look at that beautiful, beautiful photograph. And then I headed home. I did take a couple of photographs on the way back, but by the time I got basically around the bottom into Riggins, it started to snow pretty heavy. I had pretty serious snow. I did swing down 95 and then go down 55. I did something I wanted to do a lot. I stopped in and got a root beer float at the A&W. It was my lunch, and it was fantastic. It was a good thing. So ate my root beer float and came back to town. I had snow. I pretty much had snow from about halfway up. I had snow in Riggins, stopped for a while, had snow coming down. Obviously it came socking in and we had some serious snow. Folks, I was going to talk about, yes, in New Meadows, at the A&W at the corner of New Meadows, Carol. I was going to talk about delegation tonight, but, you know, I've already been on here for 15 minutes. Been a pretty good show. A lot of stuff, kind of try to give you some content to go along. See if I can find any more photographs that you haven't seen. What do you think? Would you like to hear me blah 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 about delegation, or would you like to see a photograph? I was gonna save this for Tuesday. See what else I got in here. Oh, you know what? I do have one more. This was supposed to be on here. This is sunset on the St. Joe. No, I lied. This is sunset on the Kootenai. This was basically my view of the view from the balcony of my hotel, of the casino in Bonners Ferry. It was really, really fun. More blah with pics. Okay, here you go. Here's some more blah with pics, Zig. It was just beautiful. I wish I had gotten it about a minute and a half earlier, maybe 2 minutes. By the time I got set up, I looked out the window and went, whoa! And all of that beautiful pink. The whole mountain range was lit up, but I guess I shouldn't talk about what I didn't get. I did get a pretty good photograph. This is in Bonners Ferry, so obviously it should have been earlier in my discussion, but you know. One of the reasons why I wanted to talk about delegation is I delegated. Now I'm cheap beyond cheap, and I'll go into more of this Tuesday, but I hired a man to help me design my book. His name is Mark Davis. I talked a little bit about it. I gotta tell you, I am so excited to work with him. This book is coming together very well. If any of you folks have somebody that would like to maybe trade, you know, buy some books, a chunk of books, I will make them a sponsor. I think I probably need to find someone to help me out a little bit with their logo on the back. I'll mention them like on this sort of thing. And I'm looking for probably, I don't know, something in the realm of $5,000. I will give them 100 books. If anybody knows of any rich people who would love to help out an artist and get a little promotion in the sideline, let me know. All right, my friends. It was a wonderful trip. Looks to me that I've covered most of what I wanted except for the delegation stuff. On Tuesday, I'm going to do something that my friend Carol asked me to do. I'm going to show her the original, and then I will put, oh, I don't have a photograph. I don't have my face in here. Here I am going on. Ha! Okay. On Tuesday, I will do something Carol asked. I will show her the original image, and then I will show the radical image. Yeah, radical isn't the right word. The more processed image, and we can discuss the pluses and the pros and the cons. I got mostly negative reaction from putting these sorts of images in my book. I might do it anyway because I'm kind of like that. But actually, I think I'm going to let my editor, another delegation, take over. So if you'd like to come back on Tuesday, I will be here Tuesday morning at 9:30. I do this most Tuesdays and most Fridays Tuesday morning and Friday afternoons. Again, as always, I am so grateful that you folks wander in and out and check out what I do here. It's very important to me. I appreciate the chance to talk to you about my crazy world. This is something I call All in a Day's Life. Again, you know what to do. If you want to find more about what I do, you can look at www.com, or you can always check my Facebook page or YouTube. Subscribe, share. Share's good. Let me know. Whew. So I guess the answer is sometimes a total lack of preparation is almost enough. That's pretty funny. My closing video is not here, so I'm just going to get out. Thank you all. See some of you Tuesday.